know what you're thinking. Rhymestyle, the game's not even out. Why are you already making a video talking about what you want to see in this game? Well, this is how this usually works. Usually, anytime any game comes out, or whether you're doing anything as far as whatever your hobby is, basically, you should always be putting that feedback out there, because someone out there is going to receive it, and hopefully it ends up shaping the future of the game, so you kind of get what you want. In this case, I wanted to talk about what I want to see in Dragon Ball Legends over the course of its lifespan, because I'm enjoying a lot of it. There's a lot of issues with the game, but for what it is, it's very much enjoyable. And actually, I think later this week, only if you guys want, later this week, me and Nano will get together and talk about Dokkan versus Dragon Ball Legends. If you want to see that, I want to see 3,000 likes in this video, so thumbs it up right now. The other thing I want to see from you guys before I actually jump into my list is I want you to only pick one. Only pick one thing that you want to see in Dragon Ball Legends and why. Drop that down in the comment section below. It could be anything. Picture yourself as the designer, the head developer, the producer of the game, and you have to pick one thing to add into the game and explain any mechanic. Let me know down below. So, first things first, before I start, this is not in any particular order. I just picked 7 things off the top of the head that I would love to see. And start off with the first one. I would not be opposed, and this would be kind of really difficult to do. I would not be opposed if they can figure out a 3v3 friend system thing. Mostly inspired by Dragon Ball Fighters. If you guys have ever done a party mode in Fighters, basically the way it works is everybody controls one character. And when you tag in, you kind of control that character. You get to do whatever you want. And then when you get tagged in, then your friend gets to control it. In this case, let's say me, Nano, D-Free, want to be on a team. And we can do like either casual matches or rank matches or whatever system they build for it. And every time we get tagged in, one of us controls it. Now, it's not too much of a complex thing. In all reality, I feel like this wouldn't be even that popular, but I feel like it's kind of simple to do. All of the simpler things you can do. Anything that involves you playing with your friends, whether it be against them or with them together, I think is always a win. And if they can figure out a way to incorporate a true 3v3 system, which I've actually seen in other games at this point, I think Naruto Blazing does it if I remember correctly. I think that'll be fun. Again, it's not that big of a deal to have a 3v3 thing, because I mean, in all reality, you only control a third of that, which might not be fun to a lot of people. But again, anytime you involve your friends together in a group, it can be a lot of fun. So with that said, 3v3. I would not be opposed if Dims and Bandai Namco could figure out how to make it work in Dragon Ball Legends. Although, it does kind of sound terrifying to put 3 connections, or I guess 6 connections into one, because it'll be 3v3, so 6 people. It sounds terrifying at first, because that could be a lot of issues as far as connection. But again, I'm not the person to figure this out, they are. So if they can make it work correctly, by all means, give it to us. The next one is a simple one, and this has been present in many games so far. Some got it right, a lot of games got it wrong. A raid mode. Now, the game that got it wrong is definitely Xenoverse. Xenoverse does not know how to do a raid mode correctly, just because they have a set where it was like, it's what, 6v1? So you partner, oh no, 5v1, 5 or 6, I don't remember. A group of friends versus one boss. And the thing about Xenoverse is you get one shot, it's not fun. Now, most games, the way raid systems work is they set a boss, you fight the boss, and then you overall help reduce the HP as a community. So let's say they release Submerged Zamasu as the boss. He has 1,000,000 HP, or some kind of crazy wild number, depending on how many people are actually playing. And every time you jump in, whether you win or lose, you shave off an amount of HP. When the HP hits 0, you get some kind of reward as a community. I think that'd be cool. How exactly it would work on a game like this, I don't really know. But I feel like if they do it properly, where it's just like, anytime you involve the community together, I think there's definitely a win-win situation in that case that could potentially make the game that much more enjoyable. So raid mode, by all means, I mean, it's an easy one. I've seen raid modes in past games just so easily implemented, yet they may not always work, but they're still fun for what they are. Even Xenoverse's raid mode, which I'm not a big fan of, it's fun for what it is at times. What I like about Xenoverse, what they do right with it, air quotes, because there's a lot that does wrong, is the fact that when you come together as a community to take down whatever boss is in front of you, you get like a special customizable reward, like an outfit or something like that. Often it's titles, which I don't really like, but when you get those customizable outfits, like accessories and stuff like that, I think that's cool. So with that said, what they could do is they could have like a monthly raid or something where a boss comes in, he has like 10,000,000 HP or like 1,000,000,000 HP, and then we have to all come together and do it round after round after round after round. Maybe like a stamina system, so you can only be limited to an amount of times per day. And after like, you know, a set amount of times, a couple hours, whatever HP he has, either he's defeated, he or she, the boss, or we lose. And for winning, we get some kind of reward. For coming close, we get something else. That'd be a lot of fun. So again, raid mode. Let us get that raid mode. The next one, and this is me really being very, very picky, is an enhanced story mode. Now, what Dragon Ball Legends tries to do, it tries to be a extra Dragon Ball game. It's called that. Extra mobile game. What Dokkan is a simple game where you can literally be pooping on a bus or just be sitting there watching your favorite anime and just kind of tapping bubbles, you know, and grinding and, you know, powering up stuff, you know, summoning, I guess. It's just one of those fun, simple games. What Dragon Ball Legends tries to do, it tries to be a console game in a way, and it shouldn't do that at times, which is one of the biggest critiques that I've seen in the fan base, where people just don't like it because it tries to be too much. Why play Dragon Ball Legends when you can play Dragon Ball Xenoverse or Dragon Ball Fighters or Budokai or whatever games you have in front of you? And to answer that question, it's because Legends is supposed to be the in-between. Legends is supposed to cater to the people that want more than Dokkan, yet don't want to sit there and turn on their consoles, whether they're not at home, or maybe you're at work, or maybe you are just pooping while you're playing it. That's what Legends is supposed to be. With that said, what Legends is trying to do, and the thing I'm not a big fan of, is they're trying to incorporate a story mode, which Dokkan failed at. What made Dokkan fun was the summoning aspect of collecting cards and then powering them up and getting stronger, and kind of comparing what your friends pulled, what the community got overall. The story mode in Dokkan was trash. I'm sorry. I don't know anybody out there that thought, you know what's a fun game to play? Story mode, if I'm looking at the story mode, Dokkan. No. I mean, I don't even know what the story even is in Dokkan. I just know Trunks is there, and then the timelines are weird. What Legends is trying to do, Legends seems to be setting up a pretty cool story. However, the biggest flaw with it is the fact that it's really boring to experience it. So what I would personally do is maybe incorporate some cutscenes here and there, which I don't know if they plan on doing at some point. I feel like they won't because it is a mobile game. But again, at the same time, if Dimps is really trying to push like the in-between of Dokkan and Xenoverse, they should incorporate something flashy that keeps us, you know, kind of connected to it. Because I'll be real with you, as I'm playing the story events in Legends, I don't like to sit there and read. I'm honestly just clicking past it because I just don't care about those stupid slideshows. So what I would personally love to see is either try adding voice acting to the characters as they're speaking, because at least you can kind of listen to them talk to each other and kind of be more interactive, as opposed to just sitting there hitting slideshows and reading all the time. And perhaps even a step beyond that, add some cutscenes, whether it be like a finishing thing or intro thing, just something that kind of catches your mind to get you really hooked to the story. Otherwise, as a fan of games like this, I don't like to sit there and just sit there and read through a slideshow and keep tapping over and over again, because I just get, my ADD kicks in and I stop caring. And with how cool Legends already looks with introduction of Shallot and potentially even more, I want to know what the story's about, but at the same time, I don't want to sit there and experience it in a boring and dull way, if that makes sense. So let me know what you guys think about that specifically, because I feel like that's kind of a controversial one, because some people care, yet some people don't, and everyone might have a different view how they see story modes in a game like this. The next one, this is a simple one, more card arts. Now, again, it is still very early to tell in the game right now. We know that there's melee attacks, there's key attacks, and then you have like the super key attacks like Kamehameha and stuff like that, and also like the melee special attacks like we saw with Pikkon. We also have the special cards that get added in and fuse the abilities, which we saw with Chaozu. We also saw with Super Saiyan Goku. But outside that, we don't know what else is to be added. Now, one of the biggest things that I sent as far as feedback after the beta was card arts. There needs to be more. You can only do key attacks so many times and melee attacks so many times before you just get insanely bored of seeing the same attack animations over and over again. Granted, this is Dragon Ball and it's going to be limited to what they can and can't actually do, but I definitely want to see more card arts get incorporated. You can do stuff like maybe vanishes or, you know, like counter attacks, stuff like that. If they can incorporate more in the future, I think that'll kind of cut down on the repetitiveness of the game. But at the same time, again, the game's not even fully out yet across the world, so it's kind of hard to really judge what they're going to do. But again, if I'm going to pick 7 things that I want to see in the course of this game, card art's definitely on top of there. And also, by the way, if you have any ideas for card arts that you want to see, let me know in the comment section below. The next one, and this one is also kind of controversial. I wrote down blocking, but I'm going to go ahead and update to defense mechanisms. So the thing about Legends that isn't fun sometimes is getting caught in a combo. Now, compared to the beta, they did add a new mechanic where actually if you're getting comboed, you can tag in another friend and kind of absorb some of that damage. So let's say you're attacking me with a red character and I'm physical, like Pikkon for example, Super Saiyan Goku versus Pikkon, I can tag in my agility or blue character to kind of absorb some of that damage if you're like in the middle of a combo. That's cool. But there still needs to be more of a mechanic or mechanisms as far as defense, where you won't completely get absolutely obliterated. Now the cool thing is they introduced Piccolo in the early stages of the game, and what Piccolo does is he has the ability to basically reduce the damage you take. But that's kind of a Piccolo specific thing. We also saw it with Krillin. I think Krillin does 30%, whereas Piccolo does 50%. But as far as like base mechanics, they need to have like a thing like blocking. And the way I can see it working is since you have that Vanish gauge, maybe you can do something where like when your Vanish gauge is full, you activate block, and you just block it so you can be ready for that first attack, and then your Vanish gauge hits 0. So it's kind of like either you vanish and you can only vanish so many times, or you block and then completely use up all your vanish gauge before you can fill it back up. I don't know exactly how it would work, because this is kind of a challenging thing, but I feel like this game really needs blocking. In the beta, which I think they took this out of the main game, in the beta, blocking was RNG. It would just randomly kick in. And I'm glad they got rid of that, because that could be really, really annoying. So if they can figure out a way to just incorporate blocking where it will actually allow you to control it, either you can sacrifice your entire vanish gauge for it and then have to wait to fill that back up, or what, but they need to figure out a better rock paper system around that, so you're not just sitting there watching yourself get comboed the entire time. Because I mean, by the time you get to level 300, let's say everybody's on the same level, all it's going to essentially take is one straight up combo and then you're dead. Granted, you might have, you know, parts you can tag it, they can absorb the advantage, or they can absorb the damage via advantage. For example, like I said, if you're using strength, I can tag in my agility Goku to do less damage to himself. But still, I feel like you should have more control as far as how much you can block, and that's definitely something they should explore. Let me know what you guys think about that, actually. That's a good question to ask the community, because I saw a lot of people did complain about Rising Rush, how like once you're caught in it, that's it, you're dead. So we'd love to see what you guys think about the blocking and the defense mechanism of this game. The next one, and this is kind of going down to more of a fun thing, easy thing to do, is the faction system. What I would love to see, and I've actually suggested this in Xenoverse as well. If Xenoverse 3 ever decides to visit something like a faction system, this would be a lot of fun, like a really fun way to go about it. Faction system. Now, you probably think like being able to create your own teams or clans or groups. Yes and no. What I would love to actually see is within the game itself, when you register or you create your account, you get to choose which team you are. I don't know if they're going to have like a good guy versus bad guy thing in this game, but they can do things like Team Saiyans, Team Earthlings, Team whatever, and they can kind of make it a competition amongst like the community themselves. Again, this is one of those things that will kind of drive the community to compete amongst each other, which will make the game a lot more fun down the line. So for example, let's say Team Saiyans, Team Frieza, Team whatever, you kind of have that name attached to you, and once you choose it, you're stuck with that team forever. And what that would do is maybe like once a week they can say, hey, Team Saiyans has done more events this week, or Team, you know, Frieza is just dominating the PvP right now. Kind of like how Pokemon Go does Mystic, Team Valor, and Team Instinct, and how like it competes you amongst each other within the community. That's a very simple thing to do, yet a lot of fun. On top of that, it can just kind of spark that that war within ourselves to kind of like want to, you know, participate more. So our team, so we can represent for our team. That'd be a lot of fun. Finally, and this one is not really necessary, but again, this is DIMS we're talking about, and I gotta toss it out there again. CACs, create a character, custom characters. I don't exactly know how it would actually work. I feel like they will probably have to incorporate it later down the line, because right now they want to focus on the story of Shallot in this game, which is why Shallot is the main character of the game introduced in the beginning. And I'm sure over the course of, you know, the release of the game, the rumors I've been hearing about is Shallot is supposed to like develop, learn abilities from other people, like, you know, the Kamehameha or the special beam can, stuff like that. He also has the ability to be customized as far as outfits he has. We get the Goku outfit in the beginning. We've seen him wearing a Trunks outfit and different armors and everything in like the original presentations. So Shallot in a way is a customizable Saiyan character that they want to focus on. But still, because DIMS is working on this game, I would love to be able to create myself. Because again, the big selling point that made Xenoverse so cool is you were in the game. You were able to jump into the game, create yourself, and then kind of participate in the world of Dragon Ball amongst Goku, Frieza, Gohan, Vegeta, all those characters that we grew up with. And if they can figure out a way to incorporate custom characters alongside Shallot, I think that would be a hit, 100%. I don't think I know anybody out there that would be like, you know what, I don't want CACs. Well, okay. So to be fair, before I jump into that, because CACs did kind of have an issue in Xenoverse, they would have to figure out a way to balance it, so it's not like a busted thing. Because if you guys remember, in Xenoverse 1 and 2, mostly on Xenoverse 1, 2 they kind of learned how to balance it better. CACs are broken, essentially. Anytime you picked a cast character like Goku, Vegeta, Frieza, yada yada yada, and you came across a CAC, you would get absolutely obliterated. But to be fair, the reason why it worked like that in Xenoverse is because you were actually able to break your characters. CACs in Legends should be a lot more simpler, where it's kind of like when you create your character, you pick a race, you pick your design, and then you pick your specialty, whether it be like a hero character, or a melee character, or a key-based character, or like a defense character. Something simple, where once you choose that faction, you stick with that. Like, that's it. And if you don't allow too much freedom of basically powering up your characters and actually breaking them, then we won't have to worry about that issue in the game over the course of, you know, the lifespan of it. So if they can kind of like tone down how much you can do as far as powering yourself up, but allow you to basically create yourself, I think it'll work fine. That will work amazingly well, and it theoretically should have any issues like we saw in the past Xenoverse games. Like I said, Xenoverse 1 had a huge problem with it. Xenoverse 2 kind of learned to balance it, but there was still times where CACs were just overpowered compared to cast characters. But again, this is a mobile game. It's not supposed to be like a fully blown out Dragon Ball game like Xenoverse. Therefore, if you do figure out how to do custom characters, it should be a lot more balanced. So with that said, let me know in the comment section below what you personally would love to see in Legends over the course of its lifespan. Like I said, you only get to pick one. Don't pick two, not three, but one. Only one thing that you want to see, let me know in the comment section below. And again, if you guys want to see the Dokkan versus Legends video that I wanted to do with Nano, 3,000 likes, and I shall make it happen later this week. As far as what that video is about, there's only one way to find out, so power's in your hands. If you don't want to see it, well then I'll probably work on something else. With that said, that's the end of today's video. It actually went on a lot longer than I thought it would, but I kind of want to get my thoughts out there. And obviously, over the course of the lifespan of the game, I'm sure there's going to be a lot more things to talk about as far as improvements and features and things like that. But this is like the first video of potentially many. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and then we can talk about it as a community. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoy us today. My name is Rhymestyle, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.